we're going to be diving into DLOG color space for the Pocket Osmo 3. Right now, we are currently on DLOG. As you can see, it's super flat, not a lot of colors, but look at the highlights and the shadows. It's just buttery, man. Let's do some magic. Let's bring the colors back. Boom. Look at that. As you can see, looks pretty cool. Colors are great. Look at the shadows, look at the highlights, look at the skin tones. That's why we use it. It's just buttery. Gives you the best dynamic range out of your camera, and it retains all the details for your highlight and shadows. That's why we use this, because there's a little bit more leg room in post-production. That's why. We could bring out the highlights a little bit more or take it down. On the shadow side, we could give a little bit more contrast, but also bring back some of the shadows or details. Look at the skies, right? My skin tones probably looks pretty cool too, but this is why we shoot on DLOG, just to retain almost buttery highlights and shadows. Currently, my settings are in manual and obviously DLOG. And my shutter speed is at 1/50th, so 1/50. And then my ISO is at 50 and 100 with the ND filter, just to, keep the sun at bay at the moment. That's a little quick tip for DLOG. Hope that helps you in your journey on making the best footage out of your Pocket 3. Whew, the sun's coming out real hardcore right now. Now let me show you how to bring back the colors for your DLOG Osmo 3. Before we even start editing the colors, we need to download the Rec 709 DLOG M. So just type in what I did here, and then if you see this link, just click it. And then from there, this is what we need right here is the DLOG M, Rec 709. Obviously Mac or Windows, so I go Windows, take the cube, download it. Now go to your folders and then go to download, and you have this. So before we even do anything, what we need to do is go to the settings tab for DaVinci, and then we need to go to color management, and from there we need to go open LUT folder, find a download, click, you save it, and you have it. So this is the footage that we're going to be using. So as you can see here, we're on DLOG. This is the footage that we're going to be using. In the bottom, you should click here, this icon, which is for color. And then from here, we could make this a little bit bigger. We're just gonna start off with adding more nodes. For me, it's Alt S. I usually like putting 5 here. I usually put the LUT on the last part, and then the rest I can mess around with HDR or curves and all that good stuff. As you can see here, it's regular DLOG, and then right when I put it on, boom, right? So there it is. So off, on, off, on. So that's just your first initial, LUT. So that's your regular Rec 709. So that's your DLOG, and then your Rec 709, etc., etc. And that's how you bring out the colors for your DLOG. Right here, click one of the nodes. From here, I go to HDR. You can go to global, right, and mess around with the exposure. So if it's too bright, slightly take it down a notch, and then boom, right? Here's extreme. And then this is why DLOG is so good, because it retains so much information. So I'm just gonna do a quick little run through. I'm not gonna go too much in detail on this. So I'll go to the next node and I'll mess around with the highlights here. As you can see, it kind of makes my skin tone slightly smooth if you take it down on the highlights right there. And if you want to take it down a notch, if it's too powerful on the highlights, then you could just highlight and light. You can mess around, and then from there you can do shadows, as you can see here. So let's go for an extreme, right? Extreme shadows. And then now look, this is why DLOG is so awesome, because you could bring out more details on the shadows. So, which is pretty crazy. So right there is good. And then in the dark side, you could bring it back. If you want more contrast, you could play with the dark on the HDR and go from there. So right there. And then node 2, I usually mess around for skin tones. So that's basically it. Just to recap, let's do it again. Let's reset all the nodes. From here, Alt S if you are in Windows. Do about 5 nodes. Go over here on your LUT. Put the Rec 709 from DJI that we downloaded. From here, you could just mess around with, exposure, highlights, etc. And then for shadows, if you want to bring more shadows out, there you go. Boom. Go to your second node just to play with contrast and give it a little bit contrast. Bring a little bit more skin tone slightly. This is without. This is with a Rec 709. Without Rec 709. All right. Hopefully that helps you out in post-production to quickly bring colors back on your DLOG. Okay, well, that's a little quick tip for the DLOG color space. Hopefully that helps you out. And comment down below if it actually helps you. Peace.